Unleashed. Wiedersehen, Minecraft fans. It's Collins, and we're back in Feed the Beast Unleashed. So we've been playing with this crop matron and these crops from Industrial Craft, doing a lot of breeding. So I set this up so I could crossbreed out here, and what I've actually been doing is using a force wrench to pick up the crops. This is actually kind of a neat trick you can do. You can take a force wrench on Industrial Craft crops, and you pick this thing up, and it's a special crop. And then when you move it, it keeps the growth rate on it. So I've been like crossbreeding things here, and then once it starts crossbreeding, let's show you what that looks like. So you put one stick up, you can get a plant on it. We don't want to do it here. I want to do it here. One stick up, you can put crops on there, and then two sticks up, when it's adjacent to other fully grown crops, you can get a crossbreed. It looks like a cross. And then when something crossbreeds, then I just do this and pick it up and pop it down somewhere else. And if it had stuff growing on it, it would still be growing there. So that's kind of what we do. So I've been getting a lot of these crops, and I put them out here. This range here is actually in range of the crop matron. And then this gives me, we got flowers doing a lot of dyes, we got carrots and potatoes and netherwort, lots of stuff for my bioreactor, because with the trees and the saplings, I was getting more charcoal than biofuel. So we got down here, we have a couple bioreactors, actually a bunch of them. I put a third one in just to get rid of all the excess once I got the sorting system worked out right. So now what we're kind of doing is, you know, once we get so many cactus green, it'll start putting it in this bioreactor chest, and it'll go in there, and then once we get over a certain amount of saplings and stuff, they'll go in there, and that kind of keeps it regulated, and this thing runs more efficient if there's different things in there. So we got a bunch of different types of things in there, and that'll allow it to run more efficient and fill up our biofuels. So we fired this thing up, I did a little bit ago, it's almost up to full speed. And then you can see I expanded the tank down here. So it's a little bit bigger size. We can go a little bit wider also than what it is now. So here's the basement. We did this fitted quarried stone with the filler. I also did some regular stone bricks with the filler over here, and I've cleaned up a lot of this. I've grown my molecular assembly chamber just because I've been putting tons of recipes for everything in there. I got boiler maxed out over here. Cleaned up a bunch of stuff over here. I cleaned up this assembly line. I compacted it at least. So this is a bunch of Buildcraft power going to a bunch of different stuff. And then we have a bunch of interfaces doing crafting things. Different ways to do all that. I just kind of compacted it up. I stood up a third boiler because we had so much charcoal. This one's not quite full size, but it's pumping out some more power. We're burning off more charcoal with these hobby steam engines. But we got some stuff in the chest here. So Minefactory Reloaded, we got these safari nets, and we got auto spawner and redstone energy cell. In fact, well, you know, we can charge, yeah, let's charge that up right now. We'll just stick this next to a redstone energy conduit somewhere. Let's do this. Boink. There, you're filling up. Good. Okay, so that'll fill up, and we want to put something in the safari net. And the next thing I wanted to put in a safari net and put in an auto spawner is actually I was thinking about doing the cows or something. I need food. I'm tired of eating these dang potatoes. So we got baked potatoes over here. I gotta be careful. But what I really wanted is something different. I think we want deer, right? Is that what they're called? Venison? Steak? Yeah, we want venison. So, there's a forest. Where's the dang deer at? That's weird, like a sideways log thing. Huh. Cool. Is that the one we took the lapis from? Yeah. Where's deer? Do you see any deer? I don't see no deer. This stuff is... There's a lot of canopy here. Oh, there's deer right there in front of my face. Alright, so we want to go down. These are they deer? What do they say? Wild deer, yeah. He's got a little bit, you know what? Let's take the damaged one. 9 out of 10. Blink. Alright. And then we just got to get back to our portal. Alright, so that's pretty easy. We got a deer. We'll get venison from that, I believe is what they drop. I just wanted something different than cows and stuff and potatoes. So we're going to hook these up. And then we'll go downstairs and hook this stuff up. And I think I need a wrench. Crafting one. So ME system prototype Omni wrench. I guess I could have looked. It's also in that red bag. So we want to automatically spawn deer when meant when levels are below. Do we have any of this stuff in here yet? Because this is what we need. We need venison. I didn't take any at all. Okay. So we'll set this up when we get... There we go. And then let's call this... what are these things called again? These are called wild deer. So... let's go 300. And then we'll set that name. And then we'll go downstairs and set this stuff up in the room. Now, I don't really know, because the deer spawn, like, animals, passive mobs spawn in, like, the grass and stuff. So here's our tanks. I showed these before. Oh, I kind of showed it. So underneath the auto spawners, there's ender tanks, and then the redstone energy conduit goes up. So what we're going to do with this one is we're going to put another auto spawner in here. And I did look at this. One thing is, if you do exact copy, it will not spawn the wild deer. Or if you don't do exact copy, it won't spawn the deer, I think is how that works. So let's see, where's our redstone energy cell? Gotta grab that bad boy. And I think we want to, well, let's see what it does when you do this. So that needs to be output. Oh, definitely spawns deer in that mode. Okay. And then we want to set it up redstone signal high. And then we want to fill this back in. They make cow noises. It's too weird. And then we want to put our transmitter over here. So, boom. And let's go ahead and set that. Okay. So now that will only do anything when there's a redstone signal, and they'll only get the redstone signal when the conditions are met upstairs. And we did get a couple, so let's see if we got venison, I think it's called. Raw beef, raw lamb chop, raw impied, raw chicken, raw carbon mash. I didn't see it. So let's go turn that on for a little bit. So I mentioned before we had the ender pouch. This one goes into the sorting system. This is our input chest, and it's just like in the previous world. It's this gray, brown, gray. So the storage system is tied to the chest. And then we also have another one like we did in the world, and this chest is tied to this one here, which is a charging chest, and this is hooked up with a storage bus in the ME system. So like here's the force wrench. So the force wrench shows up in the bag, and it also shows up in the ME system, and I can take it out and I can put it in the chest and it shows up in here, and the same thing, I can drop it in here and it shows up in the chest. So that's kind of cool because it's both in the ME system and in this ender pouch at the same time, just because we're using a storage bus. And this is hooked up with Power Converters mod to a universal charger, so everything in this chest that uses energy will get refilled. You can see there's some electric tools. I built an electric wrench and an electric hoe, and this energy crystal is for the crop analyzer for the industrial craft crops. So yeah, that's pretty cool. We can stash stuff in there. And then we got our beef downstairs. So we set up the venison. We set the deer up to kill them, and then this is a overflow bus for cooking stuff. So I have cooking, I'm doing it a little weird, and it sometimes works and sometimes doesn't. So we have raw venison going into this storage bus. So what'll happen is when it gets raw venison, it'll try to put it in here, and then it'll become cooked venison steak. And the way that works is I have another chest with just a stack in here. So raw venison is in here, and this storage bus has a higher priority. So venison will go in here. Once it gets more than a stack in here, the rest of it will go in the other storage bus, which is the cooking one, and then it'll get turned into steak. And then I think we're ready to set up this redstone emitter. So what I want is I want 64 steak. So emit when we don't have 64 steak. And what it should do is turn that on and spawn more deer. And then they're just going to keep spawning until we get steak. So this chest goes to the steak chest. So you'll see this ender chest when the deer spawn. We'll see it in a second maybe. The raw venison, there you go, it's popped in there real quick, and then it goes into the ender chest to get cooked, which is actually cooked in the steam furnace downstairs. Steam boiler. Steam, whatever it's called. So now we've got venison being cooked automatically. We got a bunch of stuff being cooked automatically, but there you can see the venison popping in there. And then venison steak, right on. So it's set up right now to make sure there's at least a stack of that in there. And when that gets all going, we will throw the baked potatoes away. We'll throw our tater tots away, and we'll be eating some venison. Good stuff. And here's one of the other things that I've been looking at. So I've been looking at trying to get, or doing another quarry. I think we got everything we need to do the quarry here. Let's just grab these bad boys and take them somewhere. So we can go over here where that forest, the desert thing was. It's just right over this way. Ooh. And we'll just do, I've been over here. I don't know if I showed traveling over here on camera, but it's not too far away. So there's this apple orchard, and then, what the heck is that? Black sheep. Right there. So we get this orchard, and then we get this big mountain. In fact, let's come up here. Right at the top. So this is a canyon, and canyons have Um, rubies. And we want rubies. So I think what we'll do is just give this bad boy, I was thinking about markers, but we don't really need markers. We can just do the default thing. So I believe the default is a 9x9 in the middle. Let's just do it this way, right there. There we go. I wanted to do it at the top of the world. I didn't bring an ender chest, did I? No, ender chest. Okay, we'll set this up. So what we're going to do is we're going to go get some energy conduit. Not that way. So this runs off Buildcraft power. And I wanted to try these industrial steam engines out. So get some of these up. Did I have a wrench in here? The wrench is in the bag. So I think we just need this wrench. So these 3 steam engines will input power. And the cool thing is I have this ender tank with steam on it. So I think if I do that right, that should fill up the steam engine. No? The pipes are full. Oh, there we go. Yeah, when I give it redstone power, it'll power up. And I was going to cheat with this. That should power both of those. We do need to get a an ender tank, or an ender chest to get things going over here. So I'll be right back. Well, it looks like I messed up the recording and didn't get it recorded. So we mined some sections out over there. We're going to do another section. So I've got this quarry moved over. I've got the ender chest next to it. And we got our redstone energy conduits hooked up to some industrial steam engines. And we have our ender tank that we tied into our steam boiler. So this is all set up to output. And then as soon as I flip the levers, these bad boys will start filling up with steam. And they'll start pumping out. And you can see it's building the frame. And 6 of these should put out quite a bit of power. Each of these is going to put out 8 MJs a tick at full speed. So 6 times 8 is 48. That's quite a bit of power here. Yummy venison. Alright. So it looks like we're up to full speed. And we got water going down here to keep the lava from making a mess. And stopping the system. And it's chugging out pretty good. And if we take a look at our storage system input chest, which is the same one as the ender chest, you can see it's kicking along pretty good. So I think this is what we were hoping for. It moves pretty fast, and this area will give us emerald or rubies actually, and rubies we need for some of the. It's just a cheaper way than using diamonds for some of the industrial craft stuff. The energy cells. Where are these things here? The energy crystals. You can make them with a ruby, or you can make them with diamond. Industrial diamond. We don't even have grade tech, can we? How do you make an industrial diamond? There's no recipe for industrial diamond, but NEI has it in there. So yeah, we can make the those cells with rubies instead of wasting diamonds, and this thing will kick some butt and take some names and go all the way down, and we'll be rocking. So while the quarry's running, I've been playing with some of this bibliocraft. So this is a bookcase, and I just put the Thaumonomicon in it, and I put it next to the all the Thaumcraft stuff we have going on over here. I tried to automate this, like hook it up to the ME system, or hook it up to even like a hopper or anything. I couldn't get it to automatically put books in here, so we're just going to leave that. And then I built some of these golden lanterns, which are also from bibliocraft, and actually have the recipe set up in here, so it'll automatically craft them. It's in there somewhere. And then the other one I played with was this tool rack. So we got some stuff, and I just threw it up here real quick with the export bus. So I can grab a tool, and then when I put it in the system, it magically shows up in the tool rack. Kind of cool. I tried this with some of these, this king slime hatchet and this king slime frying pan. Apparently, the Bibliocraft tool rack and the ME system don't play nice together with the Tinker's Construct tools. They looked really funny when I put them in here, and then it caused some lag. There were some errors showing up on the console, on the Feed the Beast console, and it crashed my game actually. So I was able to get back in and take those out. So don't put the Tinker's Construct tools in this tool rack, but regular tools go in here just fine, including the Dartcraft, my Dartcraft force shears. And I can either pop them back in like this, or I can pop them into my storage system in the ME system, and it'll put them out here. So that's kind of neat. We'll put that somewhere else for now. It's just kind of a proof of concept. And then we get the lanterns going on over here. A couple of them on the stairs that I have in the end, and a couple of them on the corners. So yeah, I tried all sorts of ways to automate the bookshelf. No go. The tool rack did automate though, so that's cool. So now that we got that tool rack figured out, the other thing I wanted to do, I wanted to build this ME wireless terminal. And I got this figured out. I put the recipe into my molecular assembly chamber. So we made a wireless access terminal. And it's weird how you can charge this one. So it doesn't charge when I stand on the universal charger. But it will charge when I put it in the chest. And it also will charge in an MFSU. And then I built the wireless access point and stuck it downstairs. So it's right here. And I was trying to figure out how to link this up originally. You can't fit this in the access point. What you do is you go to your master controller and you pop it in there, and then it's tied to the ME system. And then we have a second ME system here. We're not going to tie it to that one. And then the other thing too is I looked at some range upgrades. So we got these wireless boosters that we can make, and I think you can make 16. Let's see. These are pretty easy, just some quartz and redstone and iron. So the wireless boosters go into the access point, because you can look at the access point and I can see stuff, and then my terminal over here, and then I'm too far away. So if we put these wireless boosters in here, then I should be able to come over here, and boom, I have access to my terminal. So this will pretty much cover most of the base. Yeah, pretty good. And then I worked on the floor out here. We tried some different blocks. So these are force bricks, and these bricks the mobs don't spawn on. So you can see it's kind of dark over here. I don't actually need to light this up to keep it from mobs from spawning. And then I had to be careful around here because I didn't want to dry up my. I almost did actually dry up the boiler, cutting off the water source for my aqueous accumulator. But we got this kind of squared away, and I'll go ahead and do the rest of the floor with this red force brick. So you just take regular force bricks. Let's see, we got 3, and then we can make some more. And then we need some red dye, so red rose, and then we get force bricks. So we'll make up a bunch of those, we'll fill in the rest of this floor in a little bit. And then the other thing I wanted to mention too, this wireless redstone is the wireless redstone Chicken Bone edition. So Chicken Bone makes a bunch of cool mods for that are in Feed the Beast. He actually makes NEI, so everything that you see here is not enough items. And he makes the Ender Tanks mod, and he makes some other cool mods too. But he took over this as it was abandoned. So this wireless, when in the Ultimate Pack, you had to make stone wafers, and this uses just regular vanilla stone slabs, and obsidian stick is just a couple pieces of obsidian on top of each other. And then you need this our ether pearl, which is pretty easy to make. So that's how you make these wireless transmitters and receivers. And then the ME system just has level emitters. And I cranked this down a little bit. 45 steak seems to be about the time. Once there's 45 steak in the system and it shuts off, there's still some more deer spawning and some steak running through, so it cooks out. And I end up with a stack. And that, again, is set up in my charging pouch to store the steak in there. So now we got steak, always a stack, in our ender pouch. So no more data dots. Woohoo! So we got some rubies out of that. That's cool. And I went ahead and shut everything off because it was all done and stored it away. We got it stashed off. And looks like we're about done for now. I think next episode maybe we'll play with some Mistcraft and try some worlds out. We don't have a whole lot of pages. I think we have one page. Yeah, I have one page, Mystic Grove, that's it. But we'll play with some Mistcraft stuff. Maybe we'll create an empty world and find some of the libraries, abandoned libraries, and get some more, get some Mistcraft pages and build like a mining world. That way we don't have to tear up the overworld when we want to get resources. But for now, I think we'll go ahead and sign off, and we'll catch you guys next episode. See ya. Time for some venison.